Debbie Tosun Kilday. I'm here in Connecticut, and I'm going to read a poem called A Goddess, a Queen, and it's from my upcoming book, Amidst the Darkness, that's going to be published by Human Error Publishing. A goddess, a queen. As he looked at her, what he saw was a goddess, a queen. She was everything every man desired. Her lips, as soft as rose petals, her kiss like thorns piercing his soul. Her eyes, dark as the night, made his visions and fantasies become realities. The touch of her fingertips caused electric sparks to dance across his body like flecks of light, to bring his mind to ecstasy and flight. She fulfilled every fantasy, cared for her man's every need. There was one thing overlooked. No man took time to care for her. Her needs were of no importance. She gave him her all, but he did not return her affections. She gave him her all, but he did not return her affections, only taking for his own her pleasures. One day she was gone, as swiftly as a raven's wings, never to return. Nurture your goddess, or miss her forever. Thank you.
I know a goddess who loves turtles, who worships the tiniest ant as her ultimate god. I know a goddess I love, who lets wildflowers grow and whistle, who doesn't criticize crows when they crow, because this is their authentic voice, who recognizes and listens to the hidden voice of every passionate and hard-working wordsmith. I know her silent voice. I'm blessed to listen to her voice of love. This is a little poem dedicated to my friend, Debbie Tosun Kilday. Thank you, Debbie, for everything.
Hello, my name is Sher'ee Furtak Ellis, and I'm going to read a poem about my experience with bipolar disorder, and it's called Led to the Clinic. My hands usually have lead pencils to use, with rubbers to erase the blues. Write a note, I will, then watch it disappear. The medicine bell rings loudly. Just swallow, then lie in your room and wallow in a cell with misery and memories. They give you apples. The fruit is good for fruits. But I never saw a lead pencil for me to draw, not even in the charts on the door. We had temporary pens to write a ransom note, played with big bouncy balls and two-string guitars that were funny to see. But how can you play them industriously. Have you ever had boiled chicken? She asks. Because generally it should be roasted or fried or grilled or barbecued. No way, not in this place. It usually comes out in a mask. Just stay out of the way, Jose, and keep your yogurt in the back of the fridge where no one can see. I gallop like a horse back to my stable. I'll never eat at their tables again. Everyone else in the pig pen is a pig. What did you expect, stupid? Back on the farm, my hands have lead pencils to use once again, with rubbers to erase the blues once again. Write a note to the generic food for the last time. I did, then watched it disappear. Thank you.
Hello goddesses, my name is Swarn and I come to you from Chandigarh, India. My poem is titled Her Personal Savannah. Neither tears nor the easing flush of eye baths can unseat the speck that had permanently lodged itself in mute defiance. Arteries bunched in angry whirlpools, dripping acid on their own walls. She lifted her hands to beseech for him, stupidly forgetting to ask for the boon of youth. Puckering and graying like foolish Tithonus, she was no cougar on the prowl, she knew, just a helpless Aphrodite of modern times, hankering for a tiny birdie made of dough, to please the little girl hiding in caverns of wants. Barren fields with charred smoking stubble over the vast savannah of her personal Africa. Greyhounds racing through reptile-infested jungles, ardor curbed with norms of propriety, geckos with hooded lids spawning over time. She let him slip away like breath from her breast, never leaving her hold on his strong fingertips. Thank you.
The first poem is Make the Outdoors Safe Again. Don't stay out late, they said. Don't wear short clothes, they said. Not even tight, loosen up, but always be on your guards, they said. They said all of this to girls alone, big and small, growing and grown. In towns across the world, why didn't they ever tell the men to never abuse, to make the outdoors safe again? So that was a short poem on making the outdoors safe, on letting the girls wear what they wish to wear. I am wearing a hijab kind of a thing, a dupatta, just like that. But the second poem is called The Rainmaker. Watching the movie The Rainmaker, it's believable. Even heinous abuse can end in sweet romance. Trappings of mistreatment can have fairy tale ending. Well, reality might be a little different, harsher, way harsher. Yet, there is a way out of abuse. Human civilization has built so many institutions to deal with the threat, the menace of domestic abuse, that it seems that the creature named man is a vile, venomous existence, not even the social animal he's best understood as, but a brute that attacks tender vulnerability, beauty in most pristine, pious places, attacks the structure of family, the one thing he has built and so failed to protect. Young girls are killed, beaten for liking someone outside the taste of the family. Murdered in fetus, raped in childhood, harnessed like slaves. Woman's story is a battle of survival. Captive of inhibitions, families' prohibitions, women have barged out, scaled the mountains, swum the oceans. Prevailing over torture have carved spaces, secure and delightful from people deceitful. Kidnapped and dismembered, they have been held hostage at home, a baby-making machine or a dry piece of barren land. There are so many names for the women of this world. May glory be theirs and success even more. May the dream called happiness be near and close. May free voice be theirs and forced not to speak of the evil done by others when there is so much beauty to seek. Thank you.
Barbie. I bathed her constantly. Mine was mostly well-groomed, brought by my aunt from Canada. That season when she brought us a bundle of worn polyester pants and the washing machine only 2 years old. I kept placing her on the top shelf, with her feet stuck between the books, with her ass towards heavenly heights. Plus, she was indicatively staring at something. I was a girl then. I did not understand anything, but I wanted to, and now too I want to be like her, for one who looks beautifully, sees powerfully. They say they taught us to develop parental discipline with dolls, but I do not agree with psychologists, because Barbie was my friend. I wanted everything to be like her and under her influence, and so it was in my life, up until one day when my mother entered the room. You hug with that slut again, since last time, 2 hours ago, when I checked on you, not a single sheet you have written from your homework. You'll see well now. She threw my friend on the floor, with her pussy straight towards the epicenter of the planet. Then I was writing my geography homework. And then she finished her with her heel, tearing her to pieces. This was to save me from the bad influence, from the West. We were under communism then. However, after many years, my mother was found with her car under Scania, driven by a drunken guest worker. She was all in pieces like my friend once, which is still my best and most faithful one, because I was never checked by her. And for information, Scania is a brand of Swedish big trucks. Thank you for all your attention, dear viewers and listeners. I hope you enjoy my verses. So that's what I want to bring you, some joy. And thank you for the local archaeological museum for providing us with this wonderful altar all in a sense of feminism. Thank you, bye, ciao, ciao.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Warinsky. I live in Connecticut, and I've been publishing poetry since about 2011. I'm going to read two pieces for you today. The first one is from my debut collection called Gold in Autumn, and it came out in 2020 from Human Error Publishing. This piece, however, was first published in 2017 in a little journal called Light, a publication of photography and poetry, and it's called Spanish Town. Let me stand in a dusty Spanish town at 1 o'clock, the hottest of the day, when lunch makes bellies heavy, thoughts fog, and streets clear as people head for siestas, the hum of unseen bugs playing ancient music. Sit in a round-backed wooden chair at a street cafe. Sip impossibly bitter coffee from a tiny porcelain cup, decaled with a pattern I would never choose. Watch locals bring their children in packages home. Glimpse lovers walk out of warm stone buildings on their way to supper. Shadows climbing across the street. Could find renewal in an unknown place, mysteries flowing over me, language and music juddering through my being, dust of other pasts settling on my shoulders, mist from a different sea become my breath. might free myself from old expectations, ready myself for a revolution. And the second piece I will read for you today is coming out later this spring in my new book. My new book will be called Sunrise Ruby. And this piece is called Holy Temple. And it comes from my continuous quest to find connection to the spirit world, spiritual matters. Holy Temple. This holy mobile temple, this church of one, feels God, is God, finds everything mysterious, remarkable, wonders why it's been so difficult to fit in here, to love here, to be a part of groups when it's so obvious all things are joined, all things are one, reacting and interacting at a distance, under the surface, up close and personal, a Mobius strip of connection. This temple moves, walks, sleeps, cries, writes, eats, reads, remembers. It's when two or more are joined together. But now she goes to church inside the body of God, speaking sometimes, listening always. Thanks for letting me participate.
I'm Sandra Feen. Into the season. Walk with me down Woodette, I plead, on a day flecked with pale yellow, orange crunch, beige blush of autumn sighing. This time you agree. Our goal, the house of my third grade twin friends, halfway down the street. Your walker weaves through maple leaves, a 3-house extension to the home of friends I met when I was 4. We share unspoken amazement you've taken us this far, while I remain behind you. Observe how your black shoes and black walker paints you into this fall landscape, leaves and pant legs, a unison of color and wrinkled texture. This walk canvases a year ago. How much better you've handled decline than I have, as the sidewalk of your mind continues to gray, narrow, crack. Every day is a good day, you say. Today we eat breakfast at a TJ's with friends you've known for decades. Wilma shares your congestion in your head, bids you to hold up your syrup pitcher to hers, wants to make a toast. Let's salute each other's syrups, honey. And together you laugh, unaware of all the sticky sweet on the sides of both your hands. Not a minute later, she lifts liquid sugar again, repeats alluring toast with a wink, and you lean your pitcher to hers. You'll keep up this ritual again and again, both the happiest at the table.
Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend that each sister has a Harriet Tubman, prepared to seek a place where men do not abuse their queens, a place that erects jewels of respect.
Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend that each sister has a Shirley Chisholm, prepared to shake and make every state understand that liberation must not become a membership card only given to men.
Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend that each sister has a Kamala Harris, showing all chauvinists and misogynists they are as unwanted as a virus.
Women make men comprehend. Women make men comprehend. Women
make men comprehend that each sister has a Dr. May C. Jemison entering a NASA shuttlecraft that ascends to a time where gender mistreatment ends. Women make men comprehend.
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 This poem is called I Remember 2020. I remember waking up to a burnt orange apocalyptic sky. I choked, we choked, but somehow managed to scream. I need air, I need some fucking clean air. I remember wrapping my face in overpriced cloth and subtracting hugs from my daily routine. I so miss your touch, your forgotten touch. I remember the isolation and silence in the bare, naked downtown streets. Is this the end? Our end? Take a guess. Who will be right? I remember the gasp for breath and pleading, I can't breathe from our brown brothers and sisters. Hands up, don't shoot, no justice, no peace. The world roared, yet I still remember evil-eyed elderly men making decisions about my womb, but still grabbing her by the pussy without consent, without shame, without consequence. I remember ventilators decorating the mouths of the sick and frail, a gift from the invisible contagious enemy. Who will die? Who will stay alive? Stay home. Save lives.
So hi everybody, I'm glad to be a part of another Goddess Poetry Festival with the National Beat Poetry Foundation. Just wanted to read one quick small poem I wrote for my time, and just wanted to say how I miss you all. I miss getting together in person and seeing you all, all your faces in person. But this poem I wanted to read is called Don't Hate the Player, Hate the Game for Taquana T. Poem by Karl Nicholas Urso. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Hate those who tear others down for fortune and fame. So-called ex-friends, a twin flame. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Women running wild that you try to tame. To some of them, though, you're just special and lame. But rise, player, rise to fortune and flame. Let them know you too can play the player's game. On the conquest of the wars of local businesses, you tell them it's nobody's business. But we're not in this game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
My mother, myself. My mother was an orphan, Catholic, 6 children, worked all her life. My sisters, 4, diverse as flowers and weeds, bright, all bright. Madonna of heart, environmental activist, 6 children, alive. Pauline worked on yachts around the world, set up a farm, died. Teresa worked the tax department, married, 2 children, retired. Bernadette, a ballerina, ballroom dancer, mother doting on her daughter. So even in these patriarchal times, I saw by example how goddesses survive hard earth lives, how they thrive in otherwise violent times. For my father was of his Depression generation, a violent man. I worked with him on the wars, was beaten, slapped and punched around. He worked hard for his family, drank heavily for despair. Oh, he was lonely, he was angry, knowing only that only education could make his children get somewhere. My godmother, Mrs. Long, we knew her and her dotage out to lunch. My grandmother drove people round her green Morris Minor sedan. She tinkled the ivories with her shining Irish smile. I remember her as light. I looked up to her, cheerful vibrations as she entertained patients in hospitals. Now, Irish are a down-to-earth people. Catholics worship the Madonna. They pray to the Virgin Mary. They pray often. They pray hard, for life in poverty is second-hand and thin, always harder on women. I had a choice, to follow in my father's footsteps or learn from my mother's path. As she was dying, she shared her stories of growing up, first in an army camp, then in housing commission shelters. Poverty is a hard master and a worse mistress. She came through this via duty and devotion to her children. When she divorced our father, she saved up and bought her own house with her own wages. We were allowed to visit, but she had paid for her autonomy and urged us all to work for our own powers. This is no fairy tale, no fantasy. These are living people and their ghosts, each finding their own paths. When people speak of goddess, I think of my mother, grandmother, godmother, sisters, and all the women I've learned from. As they learn from peers, elders, ancestors, there will always be someone to look up to and respect, not necessarily Madonnas, virgins, saints, nuns, witches, or wise women. Each a different flower in the garden, each petal flower beaming for your eyes to see them as they really are in this life, alive, 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 and goddesses dreaming.
My visions are my torture. My visions are my comfort. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are not tired of sowing in the field of dreams. For the journey is bittersweet, half hurt, half tenderness, like thorny milk thistle, like sweet-smelling jasmine, accepting variety and different behaviors, going beyond wrongdoings and right doings into new and more thriving harvests. My visions are my scrambling ascent. My visions are my sacred conquest. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts can admire the phosphorescent hopes of the sunset. For the journey is rugged, half uphill, half downhill, like bare time in the winter cold, like bees gathering nectar from spring blossoms, evoking the rain's lament and the sun's caress, going beyond unpleasant and pleasant reactions, onto new and even higher peaks. My visions are my futile mirages. My visions are my sweetest oases. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are refreshing fountains of muses' songs. For the journey is uncharted, half tempest, half tranquility, like a wavy, turbulent sea on a windy day, like crystal, serene waters under the shimmering sun, sailing over low and high tides, going beyond traumatic and fond memories into new and longed for harbours. My visions are my lightning duty. My visions are my radiant basking. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts shine brightly through storms. For the journey is evolving, half empirical, half innate. Seeing what I encounter, seeing what I know. Painting the world in dark and iridescent hues. Going beyond detrimental and beneficial beliefs into new and more exquisite rainbows. Our visions are our unmanifested ashes. Our visions are our golden wings. Golden visions, golden flying.